In realms long forgotten, there are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Tilda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Catcher Donahue, human bard.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Badger, a forest gnome monk.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cleric of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the dungeon master on this adventure. Good evening, everybody. Hello.
Hello, dear guys.
Hi!
Hello.
How's it going?
It's me again, and you also.
Again.
How is everyone? You all good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not
very
too
good.
bad.
Yeah.
good.
Good.
Much better.
Much better. Yes,
Thank
good to
goodness.
have you back, Elle.
Yeah, welcome again.
So yeah, Elle, you missed out on a somewhat.
Standard shopping episode.
I was going to say boisterous fight with an explosion to the elemental riffs, but
But what?
what? Spoilers. Speaking of, we didn't really kind of close that one off. So shall we jump back in?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Throughout the history of the realms, there are stories of foes who have held bitter enmities with one another for so long that neither side knows who cast the first stone. Elves and orcs, Cormyr and Netheril, Githyanki and Githzerai. A strike from one side spurs on a righteous retort from the other, and the cycle continues on and on. People, their lives, their worlds are shaped by this ever-present truth, when it is not considered revenge, but justice. The valiant actions of a hero take on a new light when viewed from a different perspective, a grim twist that the Warhounds have now experienced firsthand in the face of Azarad's last-ditch attack on Zinaleth the Hunter. The use of the Githzerai's reality-shattering weapon highlights Azarad's desperate nature to defeat a foe he likely always thought had to be defeated. As the Warhounds did what they could to save as many as they could, it falls to Balthazar to see if his newfound faith will allow him to contain the tumultuous rift.
Oh, dear.
I was worried for like the briefest seconds he'd let the first few bars of the intro go and then just say, "You're all dead." That was a great campaign. Goodbye, everyone.
That would be an interesting ending.
That could be the short.
Yeah.
Balthazar,
Yes.
you stand in the centre of the courtyard of the ruined keep, looking at the pulsing, writhing, chaotic maelstrom in front of you. As its multicolored hues ebb and expand and contract with ever-increasing violence, and you can watch the amorphous shape getting larger and larger, becoming more and more critical. You utter the last words of the incantation as you bring the staff above your head and slam the staff to the ground.
Yeah.
Balthazar,
Azuth! Go!
give me an Arcana check.
Can I use inspiration on it? Because I think I have inspiration.
You do have it. You do have it, yes.
Let's go. Let's do advantage. 22.
Okay. You slam, the staff hits the ground, the spell, the incantation pulses out from you, and you watch as the magic flies towards the elemental chaos, begins to wrap around it and encapsulate it in runes and wards. You see the shape struggling more and more violently as the circle closes in and becomes more and more contained as the circle begins to shrink towards what appears to be a 10-foot sphere. And as you
More power. Come on.
as you channel the last of your energies, your world goes white as the wards break and the rift implodes. You feel your metal shell peel away, melt as it transforms into different elements and is reduced to atoms. And as your world goes white, Balthazar, as you look forward, you see the tumultuous, chaotic masses spiraling and spinning. And as you bring your staff down, and you see the magic, the magic explode out of you. Can you please roll me an Arcana check?
Second one. Okay. Do I still have inspiration?
Yeah.
Knowing a bit of a deja vu moment, but yep. Advantage. 18.
Okay. You roll an 18.
Yes.
You watch as the magic erupts out of you. It flies towards the elemental chaos. It encircles and encapsulates it, and you see it shrink down. You see the runes of abjuration begin to carve from the magic, and you watch as the elemental chaos struggles against it, and then everything becomes stable. The elemental chaos seemingly relaxes and just floats harmlessly inside your 10-foot sphere. And as you turn around, you see some of the warhounds which had fled the keep, and you can see Catcher and Slate and Badger running off, and they all turn to look at you as you kind of your shoulders rage in surprise. And as the explosion washes over you, you watch as your friends are vaporized into atoms.
What? I'm so confused.
Balthazar.
What do you do?
As you bring the staff down.
Any suggestions on what I do? Do I just keep doing this over and over again?
I mean,
As you bring the staff down,
yes.
roll me an Arcana check. You have inspiration.
I have inspiration. It's amazing.
you will have inspiration for all of these. This is a loop.
19.
Well, oh.
The magic
Do I need to spell this?
erupts out of you. It encircles and encapsulates the chaotic rift, and as it closes, you think to yourself, I can do this. I can do this. And as the runes begin to form, you hear a voice from behind you. And you take a moment, like you feel as if nothing, the magic's kind of taking control of everything for you. And as you turn to look behind you, you see what appears to be a small halfling woman in a white dress. She looks up to you with a smile and says, Balthazar, what are you doing? And as you look at her confused, you see your chest begin to radiate with heat, and you watch as the figure evaporates as you explode. Reducing everything around you to atoms.
Rather than putting the stuff down, have you tried like swinging it around in the air? Maybe that will help.
And
maybe.
Balthazar, as you feel your form shredded from the inside out, you sit upright and you find yourself in your bedroom in the World Serpent Inn.
Okay.
And it occurs to you that Was that a dream?
I look around. Is there more furniture?
There's the same amount that you. Actually, yes. There's a few more kind of curtains and portraits and the like.
Can I run out my room?
Yeah, as you step out your room, and it's the same corridor.
Do I recognize any of the doors?
All the doors are exactly as you expect them to be.
Like
You can see
where,
badges,
where-
Hirams, Katya's slates. Yeah, everything is. I mean, as your mind is racing, but as you start to kind of concentrate and calm down. I mean, why would they be different? It was just a dream.
Can I rush to Badger's?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
Knock
in
on the
front of
door.
you is a small circular green door with probably some ivy running down it.
Badger.
Come here.
Knock. I open the door.
Okay. So Badger, yeah, you see Balthazar kind of duck into your room because he has to duck quite significantly.
It's the man of the hour.
Wait, what day is it?
What do you mean, what day is it?
When did we go up on the mountain?
You mean yesterday? Well, actually, how long would it be, Dan? We would have had to travel back, wouldn't we?
So the journey back took about 3 days.
Well, the mountain was 3 days ago. You don't remember? I thought you remembered everything with your clever metal brain.
Wait, did I cast a spell to contain the energy?
You did. It was amazing. I've never seen you do anything like it.
And what happened?
Well, Balthazar, as Badger says it, your memories start to clear. Well, of course you did. You cast Magic Circle, and it contains the elemental rift, and then the rift kind of detonated, but the wards held, and then it snuffed itself out of existence. And then, with that dealt with, it gave Katya, Slate, and Badger time to go into the catacombs. They retrieved a few. There were only about 3 or 4 more urns. The Githyanki seemed very thankful for saving their children, because as we all know, Githyanki are born into eggs. And the journey was difficult because Shana was so injured, but through your help, she was healed up, and you've been back at the World Serpent Inn for a few days. Well, for about a day.
And what time do I
mean-
think it is? Or what time does it seem to be? Is it
normal
morning?
time.
Evening? Say again?
It's the morning, exactly
morning.
the time that you would normally wake up.
Okay.
It was very intense dream.
Sorry, Badger, it's nothing. I just had a dream, even though I don't
Oh.
sleep.
Curious, isn't it? What was it about?
Just an explosion that kept happening. Just something strange. Hey, do you reckon? Well, I'll go downstairs, join the others.
Okay, I'll come with you.
Sure.
Go and see if anyone else is up, I guess.
Balthazar, as you follow Badger out into the main foyer, into the main kind of drinking area, you realise you very quickly recognise that your dreams are becoming more and more vivid, but perhaps you can't help but dwell on the details of the last loop. Who was the woman? Why did you explode, not the rift? But when you get to the drinking area, who would be up around about the same time as Balthazar and Badger? Not Katya.
All of us but Katya?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
alright.
usually the case.
Usually the case. In which case, yes, you You find your way to the area. Everyone except Katya and Drool are sat at the breakfast table.
Morning.
Everyone looks a bit kind of achy, like you got back to Arabelle late last night. So it was the first good night's sleep for a while, because the climb down the Stormhorn Mountains was even more miserable than the climb up. But yeah, everyone's here in one piece.
Hey, so I was wondering, well, actually, probably wait until Catch arrives. But I want to just see what we know about the Sharons, the Githyanki, and the Illithids. Because they're all linked somehow.
It's all got a bit confusing, hasn't it?
Well,
Is Katya with us? Sorry.
Not yet.
I imagine she'll come down in a moment.
Fair enough.
we'll wait a bit.
Okay, in that case, then she comes down.
We're all having our coffee.
I Drool.
Okay.
I don't have any more sausages stuck in my armor, sorry.
Drool's still sniffing at you anyway.
Yeah, that's what you think. That's,
Zombo is not making eye contact with Drool at all.
yeah, it was a very long walk of shame down.
It was a one-night thing.
Yeah.
My dog.
Oh my gosh.
So, as Katya groggily pulls herself up to the table with you, what is it that you know about everything?
So, I've been thinking, the Githyanki are basically just chasing Illithids, right? As far as we know, they don't want anything else. But where there might be a link is between the Sharons and Project Implacable. Because the war wizards in the Walloon were interested in me, and one of them attacked me specifically.
Mm.
And also, was it Shauna? No, not Shauna. That
Wrenna.
war with Wrenna had a dream where she mentioned Project Implacable.
That's
there's
right.
definitely a link there.
Hmm.
And we know the Illithids are involved because of Garabrael. So maybe there's a link between the Illithids and the Sharons. Is it the Sharons controlling the
maybe.
Illithids, or the Illithids controlling the Sharons?
Or an alliance.
Would Badger have shared what the hunter told her about
Yeah, absolutely.
Renna's condition?
Yeah, after all of the action went down last time, Badger on the way home would have absolutely shared all of everything the hunter said, including the fact that as they were ransacking her mind like an old chest of treasure, throwing most of it away, they took out that one memory, Implacable.
Didn't she also say that her sort of condition was caused by like shadow magic or something?
Yes, absolutely. Badger will also share that.
Okay. Speaking of, as Badger, as you kind of remind the group of that, there is gentle footsteps up to the table.
Oh. It's our girl.
Hello, says the vacant moon elf, and she just kind of smiles at you, with the kind of the purest, most innocent smile you can remember seeing. Did you all sleep well?
Yes, thank you, Wrenna.
Sure.
How about you?
Beds are very comfy.
I'm curious, Wrenna, what's your room like?
And she looks to you and, I assume it's the same as yours?
I'll be quite surprised.
It's really peculiar. It looks a bit like the bedroom that they gave me in the Stacksteads.
Oh, okay.
It's really handy, actually, because the bed is really comfy.
I mean,
Good.
Is that somewhere you felt safe in the past?
The Moon Elf looks a bit like she's thinking about it, and I don't know. Maybe they were quite friendly. They asked a lot of questions. But isn't that what all bedrooms look like?
I suppose.
I mean,
Ah,
not
that's
necessarily.
good.
Oh, sorry. I've confused things now. Oh no.
If it helps, my bedroom has a tree.
I would like a tree in my bedroom.
Maybe you'll have one next time you go there.
Really?
If you think about it hard enough.
Oh, now I know you're pulling my leg.
You got me.
Oh, is this seat free? She says, and she takes a seat next to Balthazar.
Yeah, if you have a rummage around in his shoulder blades, there might still be some toast somewhere.
Wait,
Really old toast.
are you adding more?
No, just keep finding bits.
Like, as this is happening, Slate is like looking through Balthazar's like armor, kind of going, "Nope, does look like it's got. Oh, that definitely needs to come out. Does someone else want to do that?"
Okay, so yeah, Wrenna kind of takes a seat next to you, and like she kind of like a gnome arrives, puts a bowl of breakfast in front of Shana, in front of Wrenna, and she, thank you, and begins kind of eating it almost with this kind of like childlike giddy joy about her. And as you, any of you that are watching her as this peculiar elf as she eats, her mood is thrown into stark contrast when much heavier, more ponderous footsteps arrive at the table. As Veraxxus, this large silver-scaled dragonborn, arrives at the table, and
I'm glad to see you got back all right. We heard what happened up in the mountains, and we feared the worst whilst hoping for the best.
and he looks to Wrenna, and
You must be the lady I've heard so much about.
he bows.
My name is Veraxxus. Pleased to meet you.
He says. When he turns back to the seven of you, you notice that some of the spark has kind of disappeared from his eyes. He seems a bit more. His shoulders are a bit more slumped. He seems more forlorn.
From
Look.
Veraxxus. Oh, you go ahead. Oh.
There wasn't any illithids at the time that we could get the heads of, but don't you worry. I'm sure we'll find some soon. Or are we not doing that now because of the whole thing that happened?
Veraxxus pulls a seat from another table. You hear cries of kind of frustration and annoyance as I'm guessing someone was sitting here. But as Veraxxus he slowly kind of lowers himself into the chair. And he's moving as if he's this kind of old, decrepit man, like with achy joints. But as he takes a seat, he
I suspect that it is nothing that you need to worry yourselves with any longer. Clearly, for all of the time and effort that we have put into defining this threat, and this has not materialized. It is hard for me to admit, but I think on this occasion I have been mistaken, and I have led you on a wild goose chase, and for that I apologize.
But, Badger, didn't you tell us that the hunter said there was a severe Ithilid infestation, so...
She did, to be fair, Veraxxus. They came here hunting for illithids. They thought there was an extreme infestation. Whether or not they were right or they were actually being drawn to something else with a similar signature, I don't know.
Veraxxus kind of nods and...
Well, on the one hand, I'm glad to know that I'm not entirely incorrect, I suppose, but I have nothing else to give you for you to pursue. I fear I'm wasting your times, and I can't. Truth be told, my coffers are all but run out. I fear I cannot pay you for another expedition. On that matter,
he says, and he he pulls up a chest, and he opens the chest up, and from inside this chest of holding, he pulls out 6 satchels of platinum.
As promised, 125 platinum for each of you.
Veraxxus?
Yes.
So, something's bugging me here a little, if you don't mind me saying.
Of course.
You supply us with the head of an Ithiliad, which you said once they are usually enrooted in someone, they spread like a virus.
Yes.
We get near enough confirmation from one of the natural enemies of these Ithiliads that there is an infestation possibly here in the in Faerun, and suddenly you're telling us that you were wrong? I'm sorry, mathematics isn't my strong suit, but that's some janky maths.
I was under the impression that they would just be parading through the streets or something. I don't know. I have to confess, this is my first mission from the Golden Chain. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. As I say, whilst I would greatly appreciate your cooperation, I cannot afford your services. You, even though you have bent over backwards to make sure that you have only taken the meager amounts of wealth from me. But
That's quite all right. Thank you for honoring the deal.
I think it would be best if I return to our citadel and report my failures.
Why don't you go and have something to drink and maybe some breakfast? You look very stressed. I feel like whatever you need to report is going to work better if you are a bit less emotional.
That sounds... Yes, of course. Yeah.
And the Dragon Ball gets up and...
As he's of a mind-controlling spell.
Catcher's like, I mean, I can check his surface level thoughts, but even if he's under some control, his surface level thoughts should still be pretty normal. But I can give it a go. And Catcher, I guess, focuses on Veraxxus and uses her free detect thoughts for the day.
Okay. As you scan Veraxxus's surface level thoughts, his thoughts are effectively along the line of
I'm in so much trouble. Why? I thought they'd be here. Oh, they're all going to laugh at me.
He's embarrassed, I think is the best way to put it. He was so sure of himself, and now he seems crestfallen.
Is this to everyone, or is it just to...
Yeah, this is her speaking out loud.
Maybe what we could do is, with some of this money, not all of it, maybe we could invest in some economics and saving classes. There must be some sort of training that can be done to help him.
I mean, I think we have something, other urgent things to sort out first, but then later maybe.
Unfortunately, he is just bad weather. He just likes to make it rain.
Yeah. Also, I definitely agree with Balthazar. I think there are some connections here we are not seeing yet. It would be nice to brainstorm, I think is the expression.
Sure.
Catcher leans over and looks down the table as I'm going to sort of say I don't think he's under any control. I imagine his thoughts would be different if they were more structured, if you will, more like, and the best way I can describe it, more like how you'd imagine a bee to be. You know, very sort of particular instructions that he's following. These seem to be very genuine, sad thoughts.
Wait, so if he was under a spell, it would be more like lie, eat, lie, sleep.
I don't know, but I would guess. I mean, I wouldn't feel such raw emotion, and this is definitely, I've shat the bed and I feel awful about it.
Dan, out of character, did we, when we were leaving the Stormhorns, did we see the Githyanki ship leaving as well?
Yes. So, as you, effectively, as Katya, Badger, and Slate the Snake came up with the Githyanki egg urns, one of the dragons kind of returned and picked those up, and they relocated the eggs.
So did we leave on good terms in the end?
So you know that the ship, like the large Githyanki vessel, belonged to Zinaleth. That left before the last eggs were picked up.
So I think Zumbo would say to everyone, look, I ain't normally a big fan of doing stuff for free, and Moneybags here has been treating us real good, but I feel like he's probably earned a favour from us. And
yeah, we should buy him a drink.
Well, I was thinking actually we could, if you can find out where the ship's gone, maybe we could give it one more shot. Maybe if they've gone to try and find some of these illithids, we could give it one more go at trying to track them down.
Sorry, I should point out, when I say the ship left, it plane shifted in the same way as
okay.
Githyanki.
All right.
Yeah.
Get that then.
But yeah, Badger agrees with Zumbo on the point about owing him a favour.
Definitely.
If he's got anything else he'd quite like us to do, that might be worth considering.
Yeah, even just like the most tenuous of leads, it's not like we know the answer where we should be going right now anyway.
I think we should.
After you, El.
Okay, I was going to say, I think we should definitely get him involved in something, but maybe not information gathering, because he hasn't got any money left, and that is his literally only way of getting the information, it seems. Remember all the street kid? Whilst it's a lovely and very charitable endeavour.
They were fleecing him.
Should we take him with us? I mean, in the team so far, we had 2/3 of the group come with us on a mission. He's the only one left.
Let's see if he's got anything for us. Maybe he doesn't have anything. Zumbo, Badge, do you want to go
Even if
speak
he
to him?
doesn't have anything, we should have enough to, go for a search ourselves, don't we?
Where?
Brainstorming first,
I think,
and then we can decide on that.
there's one other thing that is bugging me. He
What's that?
was very zealot when we first met him. Something or someone has shaken his faith in this quest. And she kind of looks around. maybe someone is making him think that there's not mind control, but maybe someone has said something to him or threatened him, because this is not, there's been plenty of people I've met in the past who have been zealot and they've stuck to their beliefs. This is very, we haven't known him long, but to me this feels out of character.
So we should go speak to him.
I assume he's coming back once he got his food.
When you look over and you can see him slumped over the bar, shadow towering over him is Mitrofa. Veraxxus is just kind of like, you see his shoulders bouncing as the Dragon Ball's clearly sobbing into a drink, and Mitrofa's just kind of awkwardly.
No.
How much did he give us again? How much platinum was it?
25 each.
Yeah, 125, so 1,250 gold each.
Catcher picks up a bag of platinum. It's like, give me a second, and she goes over to Veraxxus.
You approach and I'm so sure.
And she dumps her bag of platinum in front of him.
Miss Donahue, what's this?
Catcher, please.
Catcher, what's this?
It's your money.
But,
I don't need it. Well, I do, but I don't. In the politest way, I don't want it. You need it more. And that's not charity, that's... You've got a quest, and if this is what's stopping you from completing that quest, then I don't want to be responsible for that. Tell me, Veraxxus, why have you suddenly given up? This didn't seem like you. When we met you, you presented with us with an affiliate head. That's pretty nothing awesome.
These mind flayers, they're everywhere, but finding one or two, it's not that unusual. There's probably some in this tavern. They're everywhere, but I just thought that there was going to be a hive of them, or they were just going to, whole cities were going to be getting attacked. Did you see what happened? They flew right over Baldur's Gate. A bloody Nautilus flew over and was sketching people up and turning them into... That's not happening, Esther. If it was as bad as I thought, then...
I heard there's rumours, but I thought that was just caravan tales. Are you telling me that happened?
Veraxxus kind of looks to you for a moment, and his brows frowning as he tries to gauge it, and he looks up to Mitrofa, and Mitrofa just kind of gives him a stern shake of the head. And Veraxxus just kind of nods.
Perhaps it was just caravan tales, much like the illithid infestation in Cormyr.
I don't want to be rude, Veraxxus, but you're giving up pretty damn quick.
What? I'm not. What's the point of it? Clearly, there's nothing organised going on here.
I just want to put it into perspective. You found an affiliate and killed it. You hired us to seek out the rest.
Yeah.
You send us into some mountains. And within the space of, I say, about just over a week, you've given up. I'm getting my timeline right, aren't I?
But you haven't found any mind flayers, because all of the leads were pointing towards mind flayers, and there's not been a single squiddy bastard.
We weren't looking for Sharans, and we found them in a day.
Maybe
give us a chance.
Maybe that's just it. I thought whatever I thought was in it was probably these Sharans instead. I appreciate the gesture, Katja. But please,
And he slides the platinum towards you.
you've more than earned it.
She shakes her head and just pushes it back. Keep it. I've got enough wealth, and she looks back at the table of warhounds, and I'm rich enough at the moment, and this will not make me any richer.
He kind of he nods. He pulls his kind of like tabard up and just kind of blows his snout on it, and then just kind of wipes, just smears the tearful snot down the tabard a little bit, and
You're one of the good ones, Mr. O'Hue. Gotcha.
and he
I
turns.
wouldn't say that, but I'm trying to be better.
He nods. As that. So, Katja, as you're kind of having that discussion with Veraxxus, over at the table, like as you're kind of, some of you kind of watching this conversation, some of you kind of talking amongst yourselves, Balthazar, you notice that Wrenna has just stopped moving. She's just staring into her breakfast bowl vacantly.
Hey, you okay? Wrenna?
She doesn't respond.
Can I poke her? Just gently on the side of the shoulder.
As you poke her, and she shifts slightly under your pressure, but her eyes don't yes. Her eyes don't move. It's not like she's fixated. She's just blank, looking into space. If anything, as you poke her, you notice her eyes open slightly wider. And her brow furrows ever so slightly.
Badger, Slate, do you know what's up? Wrenna's
Oh, no.
acting weirdly.
Have we tried clapping?
Sort of wave. Wrenna.
Boo!
No, don't scare her. She's had enough. She's had
sorry.
enough the last few weeks.
Katja, you overhear Slate clapping and shouting boo and whatnot. And as you turn around and look, you can see them just kind of doing all these gestures around this moon elf who's also who's just staring into space. And then you all watch as Wrenna just kind of slowly looks up to you, Slate, and then her back arches, her head whips back, and her eyes go, her eyes roll into the back of her head, and she starts twitching and convulsing.
Okay, sorry, it didn't work that well.
Quick, help her! Help her!
What do we do?
Healing, something!
Can I do a medicine check to kind of see if I can try and help, I don't know, with the convulsing or whatever, to try and put it in the right position?
You can, yeah, if you roll me a...
Get out some of my herbs. Put them under her nose.
Smelling salt.
For some reason, my sheet isn't working today.
Okay, I'll roll for you.
No clicks.
A 12. Okay, so as Wrenna starts kind of twitching and thrashing, her head whips from side to side, and you notice as her head whips, her eyes are moving with lightning speed from sort of one side to the other as she goes, and you hear her she bares her teeth. She's clearly clenching down on her molars, incredibly hard. Like you can see her cheeks beginning to go white under the pressure, and you hear her say, "Not here again! Not here again! No, no, not here again!"
Oh no.
What do you all do?
Balthazar, no.
What?
I do not chill any Wrenna.
Oh, Batwing Badger probably is sort of climbing over to Wrenna and just sort of, I guess, trying to pat her and reassuringly and saying, "Wrenna, come back! It's us. You're here. You're safe."
She, like, as you pat her head lunges forward, and she's nose to nose with you, and like her eyes roll down from the top of her eyelids, and you watch as the pupils shrink and fixate on you.
Ooh.
And she says, "From the depths below, the shadow comes." And then she kind of goes a bit. She goes loose, like her shoulders relax, and she looks around, looks at you all, and why are you all looking at me?
You had something in your teeth. That's all. Just checking.
Oh,
You okay?
I'm sorry. She covers her
Okay,
mouth to
why
clean
don't
her teeth out.
why don't we grab you some nice relaxing tea? Just a second.
I love tea.
Good.
Is that saying what Katja heard every time she's gone into her mind so far?
No.
It's different. Okay.
So Hiram, as you mentioned the tea, a gnome appears at the side of the table. "One tea," and a cup of tea kind of lands in front of Wrenna, and she, "Ooh, I like this place." And she starts kind of
That's useful.
sipping at her nettle tea. And she looks around and, "So what are we doing today?"
Investigating, I think.
"What are we investigating?"
Connections between stuff we have seen, I assume.
That sounds very interesting. I don't know if I'd be any good at it, though. I don't know if I can help, or I'm so sorry if I can't help.
It's okay. Having you around is help enough. You're a very relaxing person to be around.
Thank you, Hiram. You're a very... And she kind of places a hand on your arm. Strong person to be around.
Thank you, I think. Now look at Emily. You hear that? I'm a strong person.
Emily rolls her eyes and, "Why don't you just kiss already?"
I was about to say, is Wrenna flirting?
You watch as Wrenna blushes, and she, "Oh no, I mean, it's not that.
I know you didn't. It's fine. Don't
She
worry.
sips from her tea again. Catch up.
So
Are you still with Veraxxus, or have you come back?
I imagine Katja returns to the table, and as she sits down, she places her forehead against the table and just groans like, "Oh."
Okay.
Katja?
That was
What's going on?
so much money.
Oh, Katja.
Did you give away your money?
Yes, and I don't feel bad about it. It was a nice gesture, but it was so much money.
Oh, Katja. I'll share my money with you, Katja.
No, it's okay. I will. Regret.
Why don't we all share?
No, regret is for tomorrow's tomorrow's Katja.
Look,
We can all share.
Well-
We can all chip in.
We'll all chip in, yes. It's not that much if we spread out across the group. Right, guys?
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
really,
Right, Zumbo?
Well,
I can feel Zombo's pain.
I wouldn't want to detract from the valuable lesson Katya's teaching herself here.
Katya sort of like, she comes up to the table.
Hey, Katja, you can have 25 of mine.
It's a choice I've made. Just remember it if I ever need to buy anything and I don't have enough money. Just remind me of this moment. It'd be like, oh, the reason you can't buy that catch is you gave all away your money to the nice Dragonborn.
Did you want to bring him back with you to the table?
He didn't want to come back. I think he said something about, now I have money, I will drown my disappointment.
I think we
I
really.
mean, he may have said that. I may be projecting onto him.
Elle?
I think we should probably invite him back to the table. He did seem quite weepy and you know.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll pick him up.
Hiram, is you?
And also, Hiram, put down
is you-
25
Okay.
for
I also
Katya,
put down
'cause-
25.
Hiram, as you get up to head towards the bar, like Mitrofa looks at you as you get up, and then like you watch as this giant of a man just kind of looks at you, like he's got his hands on his hips, and he looks at you, looks to the Dragonborn, looks to you, and then like does like, waves his fingers in front of his neck and just no. And then sort of like points at him and gives you a "I got this" thumbs up. And
Cool.
pours another flagon and puts it in front of the Dragonborn.
Out of character.
Yes.
Yeah. What is our next step going to be now? Because obviously, neither Wrenna nor Veraxxus knows anything about what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So
I'm still in the favor of sitting down and just. I think even just saying out loud what we know might help us connect some dots.
Can I?
Also now with the last vision that Wrenna had.
I think we know this, right? There's a link between the Mind Flayers and the Sharons, probably, and between the Project Implacable and.
Do we know that? I mean, if we do, we might know it as players. I don't think as characters we would be aware.
Yeah, they're both players in a greater scheme, let's say.
Well, the only thing we know is in her mind she sees that castle with all the statues, which I think we know is now Sharon, but we don't know where that is. I mean, our last clue that we got from Wrenna led us to Wayloon, where we at least found the library and the diadem, which we still haven't properly done anything with.
So
the diadem of Alum.
Yeah, black diadem or whatever.
That was it, yeah.
We definitely got that identified at Elazir's, didn't we?
We haven't got it identified. Well, we haven't done anything with it yet. We haven't tested it or.
Yeah, we should look into that.
You've done?
Near it. Yeah.
Did we not identify it? Oh, okay. Then
Can
we definitely do that?
Yeah. Can I ask as a side, is Azarad still with us, or are they now completely?
So.
That's a good question.
So, Badger. On the way down from the mountain, you noticed you still had the tattoo on your arm, but it was significantly less bright.
Okay.
Like bordering on barely imperceptible.
Okay.
It hasn't, and since you've gotten back here, like you checked it this morning, just before Balthazar came bursting into your room, it's more visible in the darks because it glows ever so slightly, but in comparison to what it was.
Yeah.
And like, whereas you were, in inverted commas, consciously aware of Azarad in your mind before, now there's just like this light mist if you will.
Do you think Badger would have explained that to everyone on the way back, or do you think that would have been something that Badger would have kept to herself?
She'd probably have shown people that the tattoo is less distinct on her arm, and just said, she couldn't feel Azarad in the same way anymore. Yeah.
So, yes, in terms of your plan. So yeah, you've currently got nothing to go on. The last time Wrenna had a vision, she saw a place, but you don't know where it was. We can get the artifacts identified because there were 2 artifacts in question. So you know about
I identified one, I think, because there was that thing about the three. What were they called?
Well, the diadem we know is the black diadem of
Ayum,
but we don't know what it does.
And yeah,
I thought it wasn't the. I thought it was not the right one. I thought it was like a.
You've also got a circlet.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay.
Stones,
that's what I'm thinking of, the circlet.
Black stones in it.
That's what I'm thinking of. Sorry.
So Balthazar, visually, you recognise that the black circlet you brought back from Walloon, that Slate found on the top shelf, is most likely not the black diadem.
What's the other artifact then?
Yeah.
So that one is... So you've not identified it yet because you've not kind of magically identified it, but I believe Balthazar noticed that it seemed to be depicted on the priestesses of Shah.
We said we had 2 artifacts to identify. What's the second?
The
circlet. You've only got the one. So
only got one. Okay. So it was just a miss.
So wait, we have the circlet and we have the diadem.
No.
A diadem.
Okay, cool. We have a diadem that is not that one. Okay, cool.
The diadem is what you suspect everyone is looking for.
So, after you, Tilda, sorry.
But we don't have that though.
No one has that.
Okay, cool.
Do you guys want to split up for a bit? Get the circuit identified. Hiram would want to go to the library if he can.
Yeah.
Just because the Wrenna's vision is striking me as something it rises from the depths. I think he would want to research if it's something religious.
Yes.
Just gonna Hiram, as you have that train of thought, the friendly voice in your head is just gonna point out that Wrenna has never located the place being under the depths before. It would seem that perhaps she had a slightly bigger vision.
Yeah, you could do your brain diving again.
Okay.
Was it Catch that did the brain diving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another piece of the puzzle has been unlocked.
I say if we're going to
With some help.
If we're going to do that, maybe we should retire to somewhere a little more private. Like go to someone else's quarters.
Agree.
Maybe. Yeah, Wrenna, would you be comfortable with this? Are you okay with us?
Wrenna looks at you and I'm sorry, I wasn't really listening. Okay with what? Sorry.
You had a vision, and Kacha before tried to connect to your mind to learn more about it. Can she do it again? Would you be okay with that?
Yes, I think that's okay.
Right. Whose room are we going to?
Who's got the biggest mind palace?
Can we go to Slate because she wouldn't see the tree?
The tree. I was literally just thinking Slate's room would be the best because of the tree.
I'd love to see the tree.
Let's go there.
Are you okay with us going to your room, Slate? I know I've been in there already.
Of course. Everyone party back at Slate's. Come on this way.
Okay.
Morning party back at Slate.
Okay. So the group of you head, like, you finish up your drinks and food. You head back to your corridor with your bedrooms. As
When we get in, can Slate just run straight to like the side table and where the young adult book is? Just put it in like a cabinet really quickly before anyone sees.
Yes. Okay. So yes, and in fact, you're given the suitable distraction as you kind of open the door to your room. You hear another door open a bit further down the corridor. Badger, as you look up, Garrabrail steps out of Shana's room and closes the door behind him. And like he closes the door and his head is hanging low. And then he kind of looks down the corridor towards the warhounds with this kind of grim look on his face. And then he walks towards you all, but addresses you specifically, Badger, as he says,
She's resting.
Oh. Okay. Can I see her?
He kind of leans heavily on one foot and
She's resting.
I understand. Thank you.
and he nods and he takes a breath and
Thank you for not letting her die.
Well, I know how important she is to a lot of us. I couldn't let it happen.
he focuses on you, like he's as he looks at you, you swear even his dead eye is like zoned in on you, and he nods.
If I ever meet this Xenoleth, I will cleave her in two.
I will help you do that.
And Garrabrail nods and kind of awkwardly puts her hand out and then places it on your shoulder, gives you the ever so slightest shoulder squeeze, and then kind of realizes he doesn't like the feeling of that, and then just kind of looks to the rest of you, nods, and then sulkily walks off.
Fair.
Okay.
We've all been there, buddy.
Ridiculous, man.
So, as this is happening, Slate, you're able to rush into your room and hide all the incriminating things. And yes, as the door is opened, Slate, give us a quick rundown of what your room looks like again.
So in one corner, there's a very comfy tree with lots of very comfy, sittable roots and relaxable roots. Moss over that side of the room, and what looks like a night sky on the ceiling in that area. However, the other side is a very pristine, overblown, swishy room with, netted curtains around a big bed and cobbled stone floors and a swish rug and fancy candles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big juxtaposition of two worlds. And a giant mirror, a huge giant mirror.
A wall of mirror.
Yeah.
So Wrenna makes a noise as she wanders in, and you see her just kind of walking around, like you see her just kind of walk with this childlike curiosity, just going up to things and kind of turning a mirror and flicking a hanging leaf and so on and so forth. Like picking things up and smelling them, and she looks like she's she's kind
In her
of
element.
yeah, she's just mesmerized by it all. And then like she turns, she's got a potpourri that you've got, and she like and then sees that there's a stool nearby, puts the potpourri down, pulls the stool out, and kind of sits down at it and looks at you all expectantly, smiling. I'm ready.
Okay. Katja says as she's rubbing her hands together. So, same as last time. You have to be okay with this. If you are uncomfortable or you don't want me in your head anymore, just think it, and I'll be out. But just be comfortable, I suppose, and just, I guess, let me in.
I'll do my best.
And Katya takes her hands in both of hers, sits down opposite her, takes a deep breath, and as she opens her eyes, they start glowing white, and she casts Detect Thoughts.
Okay. So, the
Not
world.
my free one, because I wasted that on Dragonborn.
Have we not rested since then, though?
Yeah, but I used my free one on Veraxxus.
So, Dragonborn.
Your world fogs out as you kind of transfer into kind of Wrenna's mind. And like as your world kind of comes into focus, you find yourself stood in that kind of same black void that you stood with her in before, and Wrenna's kind of stood in front of you, and like you can see she's got a brave smile on, but you can see that she looks a bit flustered by what's happening around her. And then you watch, or you feel as the darkness moves away, like disappears from around you as the world begins to fill out, almost as if a light is growing around you. And once again you see the familiar stone flooring that expands out to fill this circular room. As the light reveals the walls, you can see the same robed, bearded figures, like bearded men, as reliefs on the wall. And you see kind of Wrenna pull her hands up to her chest and kind of clutch them nervously. And as
It's okay. I'm here.
as the room around you kind of fills out and completes, you look around and think, like, that you've seen this. Like, you've seen this before. There's, like, you've seen the reliefs, you've seen the pattern, like the mosaic type thing on the floor. You've seen the large double doors off to the large double doors. That's new. And as you look around, you hear that kind of low, reverberant moan from outside the blacked out windows. And as you turn back to Wrenna, she's got her eyes closed and she's scrunched her eyes up and she's wringing in her hands, and you notice her
Wrenna?
starting to shake.
Wrenna.
And she turns to you, and as she takes in a deep breath, everyone else in Slate's room, you can see, like, Katya's head's twitching as she's concentrating, but you can see Wrenna starting, beads of sweat start to run down Renna's face. And Slate, you watch as from the point where Wrenna and Katya are, your room begins to change. And like the jewel style floor that you have gives way to this strange black stone. And your room, as the stone just spreads out like a stain, and you watch as your walls, your room transforms into a large circular hall. You watch as the walls kind of reconfigure into what appear to be stone reliefs of bearded men, and like around this room you can see there's a large set of double doors in front of you, inlaid with black and silver. There are large kind of floor to ceiling blacked out windows around the wall. As you look up, there's, apart from the doors, you can't see any other entrance or exit apart from what appears to be a large circle in the ceiling, like a hole up into the ceiling. And Katya, in her mind, you hear Wrenna say, "From the depths, shadow will rise." And the windows turn translucent. And as you look out, you realise you're underwater. And Wrenna looks to you and says,
You're not welcome here.
and Kat, you feel yourself being wrenched up off, like through the air towards the hole in the ceiling. As that happens, everyone else in Slate's room, you feel yourselves also being pulled as you leave this building. Like you effectively phase through the ceiling, and you phase as you leave what appears to be an underwater tower. No, it's like a large rock, a boulder of, like almost like an island, a submerged island with this tower, a two-pronged tower jutting from it, and you feel yourselves being pulled up through the waters. And you breach the surface, and you find yourself looking down, watching the ripples dissipate across the Dragonmere Sea. And Katja, as you look down, Wrenna is not with you. You're on your own, floating above the waters. You see a shadow rise to the surface, and as it breaches, you snap back, and you're all in the room, and everyone else watches as Slate's room changes back to how it was.
If you're doing what I think you're doing, they are one of my favourite creatures in D&D.
Ooh, woo, woo.
Mermaids.
Nuh-uh.
And
If only.
Wrenna blinks a few times and kind of rubs
Werefish.
her eyes and... Did that help?
Katja's at this point sort of shaking off her head, and she basically moves in, gives Wrenna a quick hug, and she's like, yes, it helped a lot, thank you.
I'm glad, she says.
That was just scary.
Katja goes around to start describing everything, but looks at your faces, and she's like, why do I have the feeling you know already?
What the bloody hell was that?
I didn't like it.
It was underwater.
Hey, this is great, Zumbo. You know all about this. You can help us.
You can help us sail there.
I've not done that, Slate. Whatever that was.
However,
Well,
yeah, maybe not, but do you know what this means?
Our rooms are
We need to
psychic.
get your boat back.
We're gonna get the boat back.
The bobbing apple.
The bobbing apple.
the bobbing apple.
Just think, Zumbo, your old ship back. You'll be a sea captain again.
And you'll have your new crew, the Warhounds.
Will I be an anchor or will I be a life raft? I can go both ways. I'm fine with
Well,
it.
have you got any better at floating?
Not really.
Well, probably an anchor then.
All right.
Yeah, I suppose that is a bright side. Yeah, he doesn't look quite as happy about it as you'd think he should.
Insight check.
I mean, I'm sure we are not going to meet another Kraken. Out of character,
Yeah.
because I don't think Hiram knows that.
No, only one
How
person knows
sure?
that.
So, Zumbo, as you experience this sinking feeling in your stomach, let's take a 10-minute break.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
Cool.
Okay.
See you guys
See you
in
in
a
10.
bit.
See you
See
then.
you soon.
Do it.
We did it, Mixie. I think we're ready to test our latest contraption, the subscribe button. I think we are, Ferret. You press it. No, Mixie, I've already pressed it. You press it. I've pressed it as well. I think you should press it again, Ferret. No, that turns it off, Mixie. Wait, I have an idea, Ferret. They should press it. Yes, that seems like a brilliant idea, Mixie. Press the subscribe button, please. Yes, press it. Go on. Press it. Press it. Press it now. Please. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Hello.
Welcome back, DM.
Good to be back.
I'm just on a quest to shock you with the welcome backs with every,
Okay.
like more and more with each session.
I like the energy. Let's go for it.
Yeah, it's good energy.
So, After the Warhounds have just had somewhat of a revelation in Slate's room, off the back of a vision dive, a brain spelunk by Katya. But yes, we pick up back with the Warhounds a short while later that day, as there is a boom, and a cork goes flying from a bottle, and a bottle of somewhat expensive wine, potentially paid for by 1,125 platinum coins each, as a bottle is plonked down on the table of the tavern that all of you are sat in, as you all kind of gather around and decide to have a proper old kind of knees up. Following the advice of your... Oh, sorry, go on, Elle.
What tavern is this?
That's a very good question, Elle. And under our local tour guide, Katya's advice, we're going to end up at...
No, we're going to the Lame Camel.
The Lame Camel.
The Lame
Yeah.
Camel.
Yes.
Ha!
Okay.
Is it
Okay.
a Kalimsham themed bar?
Yes.
You know, number one, the name, but number two, it's probably one where she's had a little bit of success in the past
With the
with a few-
ladies.
well, with her music and maybe with audience engagement as well.
That's
what they
what it's
call it.
called. Audience
Oh.
engagement, yes. Audience participation, yes. Very much
Okey-
encouraged.
Okie dokie. So, yes, as you make your way into the Lame Camel, which is a somewhat slapdash, somewhat appropriated Kalimshan themed tavern.
Yes. Amazing.
Like any of you who are at all, how many of you are travelled actually?
Not really, no.
Nope, never left Cormyr.
Probably
It
not
w-
hugely.
In which case, yeah, you probably wouldn't know that it's culturally appropriated, and you think it's genuine Kalimshan. Yes, you as you take a seat, the bottle of wine is plonk, placed in front of you, as you all pour a drink and as you toast, and yeah, I mean, let's very briefly go around the table and Balthazar, in your short time with the Warhounds, what has been your Balthazar's kind of story of that comes to mind, like favorite story?
Favorite story? Ooh, that's tricky. What will be the best one? Pass. Don't get back to me.
Slate. What's Slate's favourite time in the Warhounds been?
Oh! Remember that time when I won the I was winning the mushroom game? That was pretty good. That was fun. Jick, anytime we see Jick, sneezing is joy. The cart race. We all enjoyed the cart race. When we didn't get killed by the hunter who hates, that was a good one. It's just been a lot of wild rides, hey?
Katya, what's your favourite point been?
I think I've just enjoyed the journey so far. There's been some ups and downs, and I've known that maybe I've not given you all exactly the reason to trust me to start with, but you've forgiven me and, you've overlooked my flaws, and so far I've been happier than I have been since my mother passed, so... Apart from the bits that are really scary and fighting dragons and stuff, I think everything's been pretty amazing with you guys.
Hiram?
Hiram is going to look a bit shifty if you're is this sharing with the team or is it just you asking?
No, Hiram to the Warhounds.
In that case, Hiram is going to look incredibly shifty, but he's going to say, "Oh, remember that time in when we had to catch those imps
Oh yes.
just before
was the
the
best.
jailbreak? Yeah, that was pretty funny."
Zumbo?
I think he's got a bit of a soft spot for their heist at the Stagstead, breaking Wrenna out. He has had all of his favourite things, sneaking around, picking locks, and leaving a place in total chaos in a quick hurry. So
Very good. And Badger.
All the wildly successful stealth missions. She's still
Did we have
convinced. They've all gone really well, in one way or another.
If you have an update on the
pie
success
chart,
rate.
yeah.
Oh, we need to update the pie chart. It's a good point.
Yes. Yes, we do. Okay, so yeah, as you kind of regale stories of one another, kind of laughing at the memories you've made together, are there any direct chats that any of you want to have with anyone else?
Hiram is gonna sit with Badger and say like, "Hey, remember how I said we should have a drink?"
Yeah.
He's gonna put down another tankard in front of you. I think it's that time.
Yes. Thank
This
you.
was
Fantastic.
the last one was a difficult fight, and I know that Shana was in a lot of danger, so I think you definitely deserve and need an extra drink.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how are you holding up?
I'm feeling really guilty, to be honest. I feel
Guilty? Why?
the way everything went back at the keep with Zinaleth, I just can't help feeling that it's my fault. I put everybody in so much danger.
I'm sorry, but how is that your fault?
Well, Azarad, I was carrying Azarad. And
Yeah, but you were only carrying him. You did not make him do what he did. That's not on you.
I know, but if someone else had gone up into the tower, it might never have happened. And
Oh, Badger, no, don't do that to yourself. Like she chose you. She wanted you to go upstairs. She wanted to talk to you specifically. And let's face it, if Azarad is this vengeful, he would have found a way anyway.
I suppose so. I feel like I could have figured him out a bit sooner, you know? Realized that he was up to something. I chose to trust him, and it didn't pay off, I suppose.
Yeah, but that's not a fault.
Isn't it?
Like I know I can be quite paranoid and distrustful of people, but I think the reason why you work so well with the team and why we have been trusting you to make decisions, because you are capable of trusting people. That's not a bad thing. That's important to have. Otherwise, we would just be fighting each other all the time. We need people like you. We need people who are willing to see the good in others. I don't lose that just because of one person.
Thank you, Hiram. I'm trying, but the way Azarad used my help, it ended up putting people in danger, and that's the last thing I want to do.
And we know that. Everyone knows that. And look at it from this way. He also betrayed you. Like instead of you don't have to focus on how you could have done better. I think it's also important to acknowledge that how you are a victim in this. Because you thought he was a friend. And in all honesty, I thought he was your friend. And then he betrayed that.
Yes.
Badger, as Hiram says that and you let the words sink in, you feel this kind of flush of shame wash through you. And it takes you a moment, but it dawns on you that that wasn't you.
Still doing here?
What feels like a shapeless form seemingly kind of retreats to the shadows of your mind.
Right.
But you get the feeling that whatever is left of Azarad was listening, was watching.
I don't think he's gone. Sorry, Dan, I interrupted you.
No, it's yeah, as you say that, there's this kind of third-hand, third-party sense of guilt and shame that lingers in the back of your mind. It's a feeling like it feels like you're in a situation where you know you should feel guilty or shameful, but you're able to recognize that it's not you that needs to feel that.
Did you say the part where he's still around out loud?
Yes.
Oh, hear him looking a bit alarmed in that case. Like, he's still here?
Well, I mean, he's in here, I think, or part of him. If it's any consolation, he's feeling a bit ashamed of himself, I think.
Is that a consolation for you?
Yes. Yes, I think so. I would hate to think that he was proud of himself, or that he was only full of malice. He's been so hell-bent on his revenge for so long. Perhaps he's realised that it didn't give him what he wanted.
You know, that seems to be a theme with people we meet. Remember Frederick?
Oh, yeah.
That didn't pay off.
Your
for
old
revenge.
friend Frederick, yes. He hated you to begin with, didn't he?
He really did. He did, didn't he?
Yes.
Like, that was an impressive amount of hate for one person.
Yes. Oh, gosh, you're right. You're right. Revenge is a big theme in our adventures, isn't it?
I know, right? We heard that. Still, do you want him around, by the way?
He needs to make amends.
He does. But you need to drink.
Okay.
So, Badger, as you quaff down this quite sweet-tasting wine, it's like cherries and grapes. It tastes like. Are there any other conversations going around?
Yeah, I think Catch is going to quietly approach Zumbo, and just say, "So, I noticed we offer to break the bobbing apple out of wherever it is and give it back to you, and you didn't seem excited."
Well, no, I am obviously. I mean, this is what I've been waiting for. You know. I guess I'm worried it won't be that easy. Or what comes after, I guess, is what I'm thinking about.
You're worried it's still out there, aren't you?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, a little bit. Not, I mean, obviously we can handle it, you know, but yeah, I suppose a little.
That's understandable. I won't tell anyone, obviously, but you're not alone. You know, we'll have your back, and you know, we've all faced our fears in some form or another. You know, I mean, I'm still sort of facing mine, but you know, whatever happens, whatever comes, Zumbo, the Warhounds have got you. Like they've had my back for as long as they have so far, and they'll have yours.
Yeah, you're a good lot, I know it, but I guess, knowing it's all tied in with whatever's going on in Wrenna's head, and that was a bit of a shock. I kind of hadn't thought that that'd be connected to, you know, my thing.
There's something I've learnt recently, and I'm quite surprised that you haven't learnt it either. And she reaches into a bag, pulls out your book, and baps it around the top of your head.
Oh, what was that for?
You're Zumbo Marafat, captain of the Bobbing Apple. Afraid of no man or beast. At least that's what this book's trying to say. You know, grow a pair. She puts the book back in a bag. It's like, I'm almost done with the song, by the way. But you know, it's very, very flattering. Very, very flattering.
Yeah, I should hope so after that. But then he does go, thanks, Katya.
Anytime.
So as the two of you finish your conversation, you know, well, the door to the tavern, to the Lame Camel, swings open, and you hear a voice cry out, "Excuse me, is anybody here from the Warhounds?"
Everyone's sort of like,
We are, yes.
Oh, and as you turn and look, there's this short and plump boy wearing what appears to be... So he's wearing a tabard that marks him out as an El Hazir's courier.
oh no.
And it's the same rotund little boy that you saw in the streets handing out flyers once upon a time, right at the beginning of your adventures. And he looks to you and he sort of like sizes you all up and, "Yeah, you look like Warhounds," he says. And he kind of walks up to you and like he wipes his forehead with his wrist and sort of wipes the sweat away and smears it on his shirt. And "I have a special delivery for you from El Hazir," he says, and he lifts up this parcel, and it clink, makes a clinking noise as he plonks it on the table. There's a note, and you have to read it first. And he says, and he sort of like looks to you. Do you accept the parcel? He says to you, Hiram and Badger.
Badger looks at Hiram. Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, his ears fucking go wrong.
As long as it doesn't explode.
The boy breathes a sigh of relief. "Sign here, please," he says, holding up a little clipboard.
Okay. And Badger signs on behalf of the Warhounds.
"Thank you," he says. And the boy pulls his trousers back up and turns and leaves the tavern, closing the door behind him. He closes it a bit too hard and it actually bounces back open and he just reaches back in and closes it a second time.
Right.
Sorry,
Yes.
when you say trousers back up, you're just meaning that he was like a little bit below his waist, right? Not just like he was just walking around with his trousers around his legs.
I will let you decide.
Ah.
Sign here, please. Thump.
Oh, my belt pen! It always does this when I take it off.
If his trousers fell down, page should turn 49. They only fell down around his waist, turns to page 53.
So the satchel that he's delivered you is relatively. It's not that big. It's about. It fits in Hiram's hand for sure. Badger, you have to two-hand it. But yeah, it effectively looks like a gift-wrapped gift in the El Hazir's Exotica colours, and sure enough, there is a little kind of note attached to it by string. That upon reading it says, "Dear Warhounds, thank you for your continued service to Arabelle and the rest of Cormyr. On behalf of El Hazir's, on behalf of your continued application to the El Hazir's loyalty program, please accept these individual gifts for those times where, for those times where you could feel like home."
Toilet paper?
But
What is it?
Signed, Chantra.
Oh, Chantra. She's my favourite of the daughters.
Which one was she again?
Oh, last time might have been blue, I think.
I thought she was red.
Oh, you
I
might be
thought
right.
she was the yellow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I had yellow in my head as well. Yeah.
Maybe she's all of them. Who knows? Let's open it.
Chandra is forever and eternal. Yeah, let's.
She's all of them and none of them at the same time.
As you open this parcel, inside you find 6 separate parcels, and sorry, 8 separate parcels. beg my
Oh,
pardon.
Emily and Jewel have them too.
Yeah.
And as you open respective parcels, you notice that each of them is named to each of the warhounds, including Emily and Jewel.
Ooh.
And
Nice.
as you open them inside, you find necklaces.
Ooh.
I was thinking X-Men costumes. That would have been cool as well.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Small, kind of delicate necklaces, and inscribed on them is EE for El Hazir's Exotica.
What they do?
So, are we going to be walking advertisements now?
Well, I mean, if he's going to advertise, it probably would be better than on a necklace that we can put under our shirts.
Can I do an Arcana check on them?
Yes.
See if I sense magic. I mean, I'll probably just detect magic, to be fair.
So
Yeah.
It isn't going to be like Magnus's bracelet thing, is it?
No, that was from the gnomes, unfortunately. This is not, so
All right, good.
there's
Good.
an air of legitimacy about it.
I'll do an Arcana as well, I guess. Oh, crit
Oh.
fail.
Okay. With if you can the bear's magic, you learn the school of magic. So, the 8 pendants radiate a relatively strong aura of conjuration.
Oh, they're magic. I'm
What
not sure
kind?
Conjuration. Not sure what they do though.
Ooh.
Shall we test it?
What happens if we put them all together in a sort of quick, swift action?
We
Just all
summon
into
an,
the same circle.
we summon an
Captain
elemental.
Cormyr.
Can I activate mine? If it does activate, or can I put it on?
You put it on,
Sure.
and it just hangs from your neck. Balthazar, you notice that your one has a particularly long cord to get over your helmet, and then it's got a little cinch that lets you kind of tighten it up,
Sure.
so it's not just flapping loosely down by your belly. But yeah, you look at it and
All right.
nothing really happens.
Is
Maybe
Jules a
you've got
necklace or a plate that you can fit into
So
his collar?
draw, as you open it up, it's like a little, it's like a little clip-on to go around his. It's just a crystal that goes on his brooch, goes on his collar. Sorry, alongside his stag's head.
I was to say, when did he get a glam up and get a brooch?
Yeah. So you notice that all the cords for these necklaces are designed so they fit perfectly over your head, and then when you pull them taut to the as far as you can, they come to an extremely comfortable height, just at the top of your breastbone, just low enough that if you tuck it away, it's easily concealable. But yeah, these are kind of flat, kind of diamond-shaped gems with the EE inscribed in them in sort of like cursive, if you will. The crystal, if you peer at it, like it looks relatively see-through, but it just kind of every so often there's a flicker of light that passes through it. They look kind of delicate, but I mean they're pretty, if nothing else.
Go,
Maybe
go,
the mag-
conjuration. Does anything happen? No.
No, you as a corner digs into your chest.
Maybe the magic is purely just the magic of friendship. Maybe we finally won Alzir over.
Yay.
It was inside of us all along.
Yay.
What was the wording on the note exactly? When you feel like home?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
There's no place like home.
What did it say on the note?
When you want a feeling of home.
Oh. Oh. Maybe it's a little bit like the magic at the World Serpent Inn that gives us bedrooms that look like whatever we want, whatever's in our hearts. If we use the necklaces when we're far from home, we can see a vision of what home looks like.
Or maybe it'll teleport us back to the World Serpent Inn. So we won't have to do so much.
I was just thinking the same.
Because I can't be doing with these walks. It's killing me.
That's brilliant.
Wait, I have an idea, and then I'll run out the room into a different room, and then into the amulet, talk like it sounded good. Testing. Hello. Can you hear me out there?
You all see Chiron crouching outside the tavern. Like the door's open, and he's just squatting on the floor, talking into this necklace. And you can hear him, but he's got his back to you. The bouncer looks down to you and, sorry, sir, are you in or out? Are you coming or going?
I'm in, but just 1 minute. They're on to us.
If you're looking for the bathrooms, they're inside, sir.
Ah, thanks. Okay, fine. Then I'll kind of walk back in, head hanging in shame. Did it work? Did it work?
Oh,
No.
they're not stones of far speech, Slate.
Oh.
No, sorry.
Katya sort of lightly holds hers and thinks about her room at the World Serpent Inn.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool room that you've got.
Okay, well, she drops it back in the shop. Well, that was a waste of time and effort. You'd think you'd send instructions, and she's looking through like the packaging for a manual.
Did you see any instructions on the gnome gauntlet that Magnus wore for months when he shouldn't have done?
I mean, that was the gnomes, and I'd imagine El Hazir has a bit more of an like.
No, that was from El Hazir.
It was, wasn't it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he going out of business last time we walked past anyway?
Oh, not
No,
El
it's a
Hazir.
No.
Okay.
It was a different
I
merchant.
do want to point it out that, yeah, it was from El Hazir, but Chandra later on was the one to explain how it works.
Maybe we should drop by El Hazir's to ask how it works then.
The gauntlet did come from Lovecraft.
But via El Hazir.
Via
right?
El Hazir's.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. The point of these. These aren't magical in that sense, but they're actually. We take them into El Hazir's, and that's maybe it's a currency for El Hazir's.
Like a reward.
Maybe it turns into
card.
something.
I love the
Maybe.
theory that it teleports us back to the World Serpent. I think that's a good one.
Of course, it could just be his way of
Out.
getting us back into the shop so that we buy more stuff.
That's what I think as well. I think we might have to go to El Hazir's.
It's conjuring up profits for him, that's what it's doing.
Speaking of various magical items, Balthazar, have you been spending the time to cast Identify on this black circlet? That you
I don't
brought
have
back from
Identify.
Welling? Do you not?
No, I don't.
Oh, no.
I
Yeah.
as a cleric.
Fair enough.
I be a cleric.
In which case,
We need to go to El Hazir's.
We
have
do
you,
need
have
to.
you paid to have it?
I would have if
Okay.
yeah, done
Cool.
today.
In which case,
Clerics don't.
if we do a slight retcon, in the parcel there is a 9th compartment, and inside, like a 9th, a box, and inside the box, as you open it up, there is a black stone studded circlet, made of kind of black iron. So, no, sorry, begging pardon. It is a silver circlet with black
Which
studded.
I think we identified would have been worn by priestesses of Shar.
Yes. So there is a note which explains that this circlet vastly improves the intelligence of the wearer, but makes them susceptible to the rulers of Netheril, which is why they were worn by the priestesses. So they could be
Need to
conduits.
draw.
They could be conduits of Shar's will.
Oh my god, giving to draw would be amazing.
Draw, come on.
Right.
It's fundamentally a cursed headband of intellect, isn't it?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
You know what?
I mean, is it cursed? It's just a matter of perspective, really, isn't it?
I mean, if we don't meet any Netherese, we're fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say Betty's the only one without any magic jewellery at the moment. So
Oh my
Are you
god!
sure
8
you
little
want
rings.
Betty?
8 little rings for her tentacles.
8 rings of
Are
power.
we sure we want her to be susceptible to
No.
that kind of
Yeah.
influence?
Yeah, probably not.
Definitely not.
Right, I think this
I
headband
re-
is going to stay where it is.
Okay, so
Um,
as you now know what the headband is, as you get loose and merry with these bottles of wine, what is the next destination for the Warhounds? You know that Wrenna's vision was in the sea, in the middle of the sea.
Yeah, we need a boat.
Marsh member, isn't it?
Yeah.
Butler would definitely hit up a library to see if he can geolocate where the island / tower. You said it was 2-pronged, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Like two.
So Balthazar, actually, yeah. If we do a slight flashback, so as you ponder on what you saw in the vision as you head to the library, it dawns on you that the architecture of this, of these towers, because effectively it was like a large major tower with a secondary minor tower alongside it.
Okay, yeah.
They seem to be connected. The architecture was textbook Netherese architecture,
Right.
but it's at the bottom of the sea.
So, but I guess Balthazar would probably go. Like, might it have been a floating city that sunk?
Maybe. As you think about it a bit more, as you ponder that theory, it dawns on you as well that the tower was slightly off kilter, and it appeared to be located on top of what appeared to be almost like a large lump of rock that was not part of the seabed.
Yes. So, are there any reported sightings of, or records of, a Netherese city falling down somewhere in the part of the Dragonmere?
Give me a quick investigation check. And was anyone else going with Balthazar on his little fact-finding mission?
I was, but I probably went off to do something else.
Okay.
Specifically, I need to send a message.
Okay. Anyone else going with Balthazar?
Nope. Okay.
You're on your own, buddy!
All right, normal, but I'm giving myself guidance, and I think that's
Uh-huh.
all I can give myself. Yeah.
You've got one other thing you can give yourself.
Can I? Oh, memories of a broken past thing. How does that? Was it a D6? Can I do guidance
D6.
and that?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Plus. Okay, what do I do?
So I will.
Plus 1d6. Let's see if this is gonna work.
Good lord.
Yeah.
I think it worked.
Totally.
20.
Oh, you
yes.
just crit it. You just
Yeah.
crit it. There you
Yeah.
go. So
We've got a 2 and a 1.
then you roll a 5. Oh, sorry, never mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
We'll
did
ignore
both.
your 1. We'll take your 5. It's much more impressive. 29. Right, 29 on your investigation check. Yes. Definitely Netherese. Yes. Indicative of one of the floating cities of Netheril. Interestingly, it was just a floating tower, however. So not as impressive as the floating
okay.
cities of Eld. As you scan and pore through the text, you do find there are records from Blue Dragons at the time, where during the War of Shadows, a floating island was sighted flying over southern Cormyr out towards the Dragonmere Sea. It was never, but the locals on the southern coast of the Dragonmere never reported seeing something kind of arrive over their shores. So this island flew out into the sea, flew out over the sea and then vanished.
Okay, so I have a rough sort of 100, 200 mile, 300 mile location of where it might be.
You know what? Because you rolled 29. As you conjure up that memory of you kind of flying out of the water, as you look around and sort of like triangulate the points in the sky and what you can see on the horizons and whatnot. Know roughly where you emerge from the water, within a few miles or so.
Okay, that solves one of the problems.
Okay.
Okay, very cool. That'll do.
So yeah, back in the tavern.
Right, so we need a boat.
Oh, sorry. Here,
Yeah,
Adam. Message. A message. Yes.
Message. I'm gonna hunt someone down who can send message and send a message to goddamn Magnus.
Okay.
Oh, I can send messages, Hiram.
You can?
Yeah, sure.
In that case, back in the tavern. It's fine.
Okay.
This is just, we were just in the loo, both of us. Well, I don't know why. I'm not going to be in the loo.
So what would the message have said, Hiram?
Hey, met your parents. Are you alive? What's going on?
Okay.
Please send message back.
Sure. So, you've been asking Balthazar to send these messages relatively frequently. In fact, during your downtime, not too long, like half a week ago, the messages were almost daily, and you never had a sending come back. And Hiram, as you kind of puff your cheeks out and wonder what's up, Balthazar, you get a ping in the back of your head.
Is it a please
You
call
get
me?
a notification.
Please call me back.
Voicemail.
You hear this voice say to you, "We're alive. Where are you going next?"
Okay. I will relay that to Hiram. He replied back.
Great.
Finally.
That took a while.
Yeah. Probably low reception.
Should we tell them where we are going?
No, because that means Rager will know. And if we find the artifact that we're looking for, then she will know where it is as well.
Should we tell them where we're not going?
I mean, we can be very vague.
How about the vast swamp or the hermit woods?
Tell them we're going to Half Hap.
Well, I mean, I guess. Should I?
Just tell them we are looking, and we don't know where we're going next.
Ooh,
Right?
ooh! Tell him that we're going to Wei Lun to visit his parents again, and he should really go as well.
No. I don't think it's a good idea.
What does Balthazar send back, if he sends back anything at all?
Should we just say Suzail Marsember? Yeah, let's give him. I'll say that. We're thinking of going to Suzail or Marsember.
Okay.
Don't follow us.
You fire that off into the ether.
I'll just say looking for illithids.
Okay. Sounds good. So you continue on with your drinks. Everyone's getting a bit sloppy now. The tavern door opens again, and Katya, you turn as you kind of lean back to see who it is. You hear a familiar voice say, "Oh, hello, Katya." And in front of you is Cassandra, or Cassie, the girl you would consider to be your best friend from your time growing up with Ursula back in Suzail.
We saved her, didn't we?
Yeah, she went away with the Harpers.
And the last time you saw her, you handed custody of her to the Harpers in Suzail, and that, as well as all of the other, lots of the other dancers that were part of Ursula's troop, and the Harpers led them away to safety. And she stands in front of you. She's wearing kind of traveling clothes.
Kasha leaps at her, literally leaps at her, throws her arms around her. It's like, Cassie! Oh my God! I never thought I'd see you again. After you left for the Harpers, they said that They said I'd never see you again. What are you doing here?
So Cassie is rocked by your sudden outburst, and like as you kind of hug her, she staggers back a few steps, and like an arm kind of gingerly comes round and like goes around you, and you notice that the other hand is where it was. She appears to be holding this kind of satchel, if you will. It's like traveling bag, and like she gives you, like, her arm goes around you. It's limp, and then it tightens slightly as she kind of embraces you properly. And in your ear, she, it's good to see you, Cat.
I've missed you, Cassie.
She looks around and she sees the rest of you and hi, my name's Cassandra. I know Katya.
She points at Slate, Badger, and Hiram's like they were there when everything happened at the Dragon Riders, and she points at Zumbo and Balthazar. Says they're new.
She nods and it was that was a crazy night, wasn't it? So
It was.
Yeah, it
nice,
was,
nice to meet you in better circumstances finally.
Yes, much better circumstances. And she looks at you, Katya. How are you doing? Are you okay?
Alive is probably the best way of putting it. Things have been very crazy since what happened in Sazale. There have been dragons, demons, a big creature that I can only describe as a were-thing, civil war, dethroning a queen.
Oh, that was you. That was you?
Kinda, yeah. I may have had something to do with that. I wasn't happy by the answers, but yes, I may have also been involved.
I see. You've been keeping busy, Cat.
Yes, although what I'm looking for still hasn't been found.
Oh. What do you mean?
She sort of leans in close. I still can't find her. She's gone off the grid. I think she might have ended up in the castle. I think she might be with the king.
Cassie looks to you, and she kind of she looks at you for a lingering moment, and then raises her eyebrows and, oh, really?
Yeah, at least that's what the rumors are. The king has a new paramour, and it matches Ursula's description.
That's bad news. And she looks to you and, so, what are you adventurers celebrating? Yeah, they look expensive.
We're celebrating not dying to chaotic energies and the hero that is Balthazar for stopping said chaotic energies.
Oh,
you're welcome.
You must be very powerful, Mr. Knight.
Yeah.
He is very powerful. He's quite the. She kind of looks at you and is like, I can't really call you a wizard. He's a very powerful magic user. He knows the art well.
Servant of Azuth.
He's a servant of Azuth.
There you go.
I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Katya leans in and she's like, everything okay, Cassie? You're acting a little weird.
It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. So,
Inside check.
What are you? I mean, where are the warhounds off to next year? I mean, it must be nice to be drinking, but I'm sure that you're off on some big, grand sweeping adventure. Yeah, where's next, Cat? Where are you going next?
Oh, well, I mean, instead of worrying about such things, Cassie, why don't you join us for a drink and you can tell us all about where the Harpers took you and how everyone else is doing. I mean, she leans in. Have you joined them? Are you one who plays the harp?
Cassie looks to you and not yet. No, we're working on it.
I see. Well, as I said, instead of worrying about what we're doing, why don't you come and have a drink? We can talk about the better times we shared together.
She looks to you and that would be great, but and like she reaches and she grabs your hand and like pushes it back down to the table. I'd be really interested to find out where you're going next, Cat. And as she says it, you see her grip the satchel she's holding that little bit tighter, and she's not let it go since arriving.
Why don't you, Cassie, instead of playing silly beggars with someone who's known you since we were both knee-high to a grasshopper, so I know when something's bothering you, and I know when you're being aloof, why don't you just be honest with me? Because I think for someone who, I think as we said to each other with our best friends, I think that's what we carved into that tree that one time, you would be a little honest with me?
And like you can see her brow is starting, her brow and her eyes are starting to shake. I'm being dead. I'm being dead honest with you, Cat. I'd really like to know where you're going next. And you see her eyes begin to water. I really need you to tell me where you're going next, Cat. And like, you see her knuckles going white as she grips the satchel harder and harder.
And Katja sort of places her hand against the side of her head. And she... Cassie, be clear. Be concise. Think freely. And her eyes start to glow as she tries to counter-charm her.
As you do that,
We'll call it here.
Ooh. Who charmed her?
That's what I'm wondering.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm pretty sure she is. I mean, this may not do anything, but I'm pretty sure she's charmed.
As
or at least she
you-
won't be frightened of whoever it is.
as you say that, Cassie rocks back from you as if your touch is electric. And as she her arm goes limp and like the satchel begins to fall, and then she catches it and like holds it to her chest like a desperate mother holding a newborn baby. And she I can't, no, just tell me where you're going, please.
Katja,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on?
This is Cassandra, a friend of mine. She's curious on where our adventures take us next.
She looks very upset.
Yes.
Are you okay?
unfortunately- And Katya moves closer and leans into Cassie's ear. Oh, hang on, I'm gonna let Balthazar do what Balthazar's doing first.
Yeah.
Balthazar was very sober, so he just stands up, raises his staff, and goes and points it at Casti.
Out of character before you cast that.
Sure.
Do we remember? Do we know what kind of signs someone would have if they had one of those creatures in their brains, like a Gabriel?
Ooh.
Not particularly, no.
Got bl-
Because your sample size is quite small.
They got blue tongues.
Balthazar, as you stand up and cast Dispel Magic, so are you focusing on Cassandra?
Sure.
Your staff illuminates the patrons in the tavern. Whoa! As you get up and cast a spell. It's like there's screams of like cries of panic.
I guess I do it pretty quietly, but yeah.
Oh well, yeah. As you cast the dispel, as the runes of dispelling kind of enclose around Cassie, they hit what appears to be a white orb around her head.
Ooh.
And Cassie, tears streaming down her cheeks, looks to you, Cat, one last time and says, "She's watching. Just tell her."
You can tell Ursula. You can tell Ursula will be in Marsemba, and we'll be waiting for her. And she looks directly into Cassie's eyes, and she basically like mouths that "I love you," and she then says, "Ursula." What would she say to her? She basically, oh, hang on. Could Katya do... Never mind, no, that's too much. Even I know that's probably too much.
Okay.
I was thinking of trying to sort of like send a spike through Cassie to hit Ursula, but no.
Okay. As you say the words, you see Cassandra, like her eyes go wide, and she looks at you, and her breathing becomes quicker and more laboured, as if she's waiting for something, and then.
Cassandra, I apologize if this is bad. No, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you finish what you're doing. But
okay.
There's one more spell I thought we might be able to cast here.
Cassandra looks to you and I think she's gone.
How does she find you, Cassie? The Harpers promised me that you'd be safe from her.
The Harpers, they took us. They were taking us west. They were planning on taking us to Sembia. We rendezvoused with some purple dragons and some war wizards. And they said that they were friends. Oh my God! The Harpers, they're all dead. They turned on them.
Katya tries to take the bag from Cassie. Let me just take this from you.
She grips it a bit more closely to her chest, and then she told me to give you this. And she hands over the satchel. Please don't open it.
Katya hands it back to someone else. It's like, would someone else mind just taking a look at that for me?
Not it. Last time someone asked me this, it ended really badly.
Somebody's drunk enough to do it.
Zumbo, as you you go to open it, and Cassie, no, please don't. And as you open it, you see a string pull up with the inside of the satchel flap, and you it's that moment where you, as a scoundrel, you immediately know a trap has been triggered. And as you take in that deep breath, nothing happens. And when you look in the satchel, there are 3 vials of red liquid with a note that says, "Just in case you need them."
Is it more drink? Thanks, but mine's full. I've only just got one. And kind of hands the bag back.
Katya, as you look in the bag, Cassie's, her arms are up, she's flinching, and as she opens up,
Katya
Katya,
puts
as
her
you
hands
look
on her
in the
shoulders,
bag-
it's okay.
As you look in the bag, Katya, you recognise these as 3 vials of Alchemist's Fire.
If Slate can see them with Katya, Slate will try and take the bag in from Katya and just go, "Don't worry, we can look after this one for you. Don't you worry about it. You just have a nice new beer," and just put that and go does anyone else want to take extremely powerful alchemist fire away from? We know she's not going to use it.
Give it to Balthazar.
Yes.
Wait, I'm made of wood.
If you just lift up your visor and go...
Katya basically pulls Cassie into another hug and then sits her down and orders her a drink, but she basically looks to the group. Ursula's taunting us to finish what I started.
So, does she want you to go
It's
back to Suzail? That's where she is, right?
Yes, although the alchemist fire is a gesture, I think she's trying to say that she doesn't care about the other businesses anymore. This is why she's given them to me. She's expecting that. She's saying I can burn them down. This is showboating in this extreme. She's telling me she's untouchable.
I mean, you say that. She literally just gave you Alchemist Fire. You can throw it at her.
That's the point. She's saying that obviously this is what I did to the Dragon Riders Club. And there are 3 more taverns still on my list. She's basically saying, go for it. Because she doesn't care. If she is with Ezerad, she's untouchable. As Cassie said, she's got they've managed to wipe out the Harpers. The goddamn Harpers!
Yeah, that's worrying.
We burnt bridges with them to save everyone, and now she turns to her, Cassie, what did happen to everyone else? Did they at least flee? Are they back in Ursula's control?
Cassie, her eyes bloodshot. I don't know. They split us up. They took us in different directions. She came to me. She singled me out because we know each other so well. She sent me here. I don't know what was her eyes. They glowed white, and she told me I had to find out what you all were doing next, where you were going, and she said if I didn't manage to get you to tell me that I wouldn't survive.
It's okay, Cassie. I would never let that happen.
I didn't even have the money to get a coach. I had to walk here from Susail.
Oh my god.
And I knew that I wasn't allowed to stop, because she said that if I did anything against her instructions, that would be it. That she'd pop me like a bug.
Catch is sort of like, I'm going to take Cassie back to the Dragon Serpent's Inn, and then I'll be back in a bit. I'll get Mitchifer to look after her. She'll be safe there. I'll be back in a second. I promise.
Do you want company to take her, or would you prefer to be just the two of you?
If you don't mind, if it's just us, Badger.
Of course,
but thank you,
Of course.
Cassie.
Give me a second. I just want to do something. I'll cast another spell, which is Nistul's Magic Aura. This will help for a bit. Make sure she can't be tracked.
Ooh.
And so I'm going to change it so that if she does get divined upon or scryed upon, like she doesn't appear as who she is. She appears as being somebody else.
Cool.
So I'm hoping that will prevent scrying or
Very
like,
cool.
kind of interference.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I think that's roughly how it works.
No,
Why
that
not?
sounds good.
Why not?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
See
so
ya.
there's another "Whoa!" from the patrons as you cast another spell.
It's just magic. Calm down.
And yeah,
Live in a world of it, people.
Yeah, but it's not normally going off at the pub, is it?
I mean,
It would
depending
be,
on the
wouldn't it?
spotlight.
It would be.
so
Especially in the university towns.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh!
So as you and Cassie kind of leave the tavern, as you step outside into the fresh air, seemingly as soon as the fresh air of Arabelle hits Cassie's face, she stops, her nose scrunches, her lip trembles, she just falls apart and like picks you up in a big bear hug, and like your feet just about dangling off the ground.
I told you how much I hate that, just because you're taller than me. I was taller once, and then you're that growth spurt. Put me down.
She puts you down and kind of wipes her tears away. And oh, you've still got the dog.
Yeah, Drill's been following me ever since I got away, and yeah, he was there when. And she thinks about the dragon riders. He was there when everything happened.
Why have you given your dog jewelry?
Drill's very fashionable these days. I mean, look at his collar. His collar is magical. He can wreck shit. He frequently does.
As the two of you walk off, Katya, as you take a glance over your shoulder at the rest of the warhounds who are still in the tavern, and like as the door swings shut, with a hand gliding a few inches over the crystal orb, Ursula opens her eyes with a smile, and as she pulls her hand away, the orb goes clear again. Her footsteps ring out through the royal palace as she walks with a new, determined and renewed vigor. She throws open the doors to the Grand Assembly, and Ezred looks up. My dear, what's happening? And she smiles. I hear Marsember is nice this time of year. We will call it there.
Ooh.
Hey.
Yeah. The fuck
feel a-
down in Marsemba. Let's go.
I feel a naval battle coming on.
Congratulations, everyone, on completing session 23!
Hey! And being level 10. Yay!
You're an amazing
have you been able-
ventriloquist.
Yeah. Also, and having been able to cast the one spell I wanted. Yeah. Oh wait.
Oh. What was the
Wait,
spell?
Fine steed will come one day.
Does Fine
Ah.
Steve have to be a horse, or can it be like a seal or a dolphin?
Can be anything, can't
I mean,
it?
it is something specific I asked for,
Yes.
and I checked with Dan if it's okay.
It is a walrus.
A narwhal.
Yes.
That would be if Zumbo cast
Yeah.
Find Steed, it would be on a narwhal or a
I mean-
walrus.
I have a funny feeling if he cast a Fine Steed, it would just be a larger Betty.
Like a
Not
space
by choice.
hopper.
No.
I feel like for
It can be anything. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, Garnell?
I feel like for Hiram it could be like surfing on like a manta ray.
Ooh.
Going through.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Actually, I did mention what it would be ages and ages and ages ago.
Mm.
Where was it?
Oh, what's the town outside of thingy?
Something
Justice
green.
Green.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Justice
Justice
Green.
Green. Yes.
Justice Green.
Well, the audience are going to have to patiently wait to find out what that is. But, yes.
It's never gonna happen.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing.
Yes.
And I will
Thank
see
you,
all-
DM Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
Dan.
Dan.
Thank you,
Oh,
Dan.
Why are we thanking him? He's been mean.
It's his job.
Right. Yes, right.
True.
Yeah, it's on my
What's the
TV.
territory?
I will see you all next week.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
bye. Bound for Mars Ember, the Warhounds close in on the mysterious artifact known as the Black Diadem. But unless they want to swim, they're going to need a ship. I wonder how they'll conquer that problem. Come back next week to find out. Another episode in the bag, and again, thank you for watching through to the end. We're beginning our final push towards the conclusion of level 9, and I hope you're as excited for it as we are. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. And if you like what we're doing, you can find another video here. And if you want to keep up to date, hit the subscribe button here and click the bells for notifications. Thank you again for watching, and as always, may the realms endure.